Is it live?
Go, you're live. Hello everybody, please leave a like, please leave a like, please leave a like.
Okay, hello. Nice. Hello. I think we can start. It's
1 second, I think our screen is
sure.
not...
People will join.
Wait,
then...
but your screen is not one. Give me a minute,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Uno momento. I don't know. Can you try?
I'm looking at the YouTube. I cannot see my screen yet.
Can you please try? Stop sharing, sharing screen again. I think.
Okay.
Apologies, technology is scamming us again. Of course not. One moment. Okay, I can see it now. And I'm switching to your screen now. Apologies for the technicals. Classic. It's all my fault.
Is it? I still see the start. Okay, we can see it now. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the next weekly episode of the Musical Chairs stream we do. Before we get into things, as always, the Coin Market Manager is sponsoring the stream. It's automated trading journal. It usually costs money, but if you are going to use the link in the description, you can make an account for Bybit and get it completely for free. It pulls all the data from APY, so you don't need to journal all that much, but you will basically see all your kind of data, how you are performing and all of that, which, obviously it's journaling, so it's super important. And yeah, with that being said, we can very quickly take a look at some charts from my end. As always, gonna start with BTC. We obviously had this October rally, which everyone on Twitter made sure to tweet at least 150 times yesterday. So it's kind of a tricky point. Obviously, looking at the daily chart, we are at resistance. We are hitting this. I think this is like 100 daily moving average or whatever. There is obviously a level of SR here as well. We kind of filled this this point in volume, this kind of low volume node as well. So definitely we are sitting at resistance, and you can see BTC today is kind of pulling off a little bit. People mentioned that it's a new quarter, it's a new month. Starting the month like this, with just this basically open drive. The first day of the month, just huge up candle, no wick. And I think it's likely to get traded. If you're gonna take a look at the quarterly chart, basically you can see that that there is a no wick on the quarterly chart as well. So
Q1.
Q1. Okay, that's actually true. But it's not the kind of thing that is like very likely to happen. Basically, usually you get wicks on both sides, at least little ones. Obviously there's not so much data for BTC. But yeah, I think it's likely that we are going to revisit the opening price from Sunday. The thing is that a lot of people kind of see this as very set in stone thing and think it's going to happen tomorrow, which is not the thing that I would kind of go with.
Sorry, Adam, can I just please ask you, sorry to interrupt you, can you go on super low time frames and put a line where the stream started? I just wanna asking for a friend. Thank you.
Okay. So
I think it's that big.
Let's just do something like this.
No.
We kind of go to the
yeah, on the top.
Okay, yeah. So now there is a huge line for this. Let me just. Okay. So yeah, like we are at resistance. Obviously, we had this daily swing point. We filled the low volume node. We are at the moving average as well. I'm not sure which one is it. I don't know even why is it on my chart for the most part. But yeah, we have some sort of higher time frame kind of resistance here. BTC has been breaking down in the last few hours. Something that I would be looking at as like a interweek trade. Obviously, this is that kind of a structural side of thing that led to this last rally. If we start to trade underneath that, then I would say that this kind of short-term high might be looking for a retest and something like this, basically on the short side. Very, very simple. The same thing would be if we just kind of do something like this, just didn't accept underneath these lows, then I would look for longs. Very simple for BTC. I think ETH this week is kind of the main thing to look at, and altcoins as well. But yeah, BTC is as kind of exciting this looked. We are still within this kind of a bigger range. We are still in these kind of sitting in these volumes. So it's nothing too insane, at least in my opinion. For continuation higher, to be fair, I would love to just this to cool down. Have a couple of days of sideways this week. If I remember correctly, there is NFP on Friday, which is like the only
Yeah. There's
thing
some
that is
unemployment
happening.
data this week.
Yeah. So and NFP in general is not such a big deal for BTC. From all the CPI, FOMC, FOMC, major news. NFP is definitely this kind of less important. But yeah, if we would manage to continue higher, I would just love to see this kind of sit in this kind of level, then maybe do something like this, like very quick kind of sweep underneath, to fill a little bit of this kind of a inefficiency that this kind of move to the upside happened, and then continue higher. So this is just for BTC, like I said, kind of TLDR on the last 5 minutes is if we're gonna continue to break down, then I would assume that highs in and look for shorts. If you're going to just go sideways or even start pushing higher, then I would try to get long. I don't think this is like a best level by itself to just kind of jump into the new trades. Obviously, if you manage to kind of short somewhere above inside this wick, inside this daily wick, basically, then good for you, and you should just kind of hold it out and see how
I
it's
know a
going to
guy.
go. Yeah. So with that being said, something that is getting absolutely cucked today is ETH. ETH BTC is once again just doing what ETH BTC does best, which is this. Which is kind of unfortunate, to be fair. When we kind of reclaimed these kind of support lows in this range, I was really hoping that this would just have a little bit in it, and alts maybe could rally with this as well. But you can see that we're just kind of dying down. And ETH is also almost retraced completely the whole buying candle. The ETF launched today. The results are not the best I saw. There's like 2 million daily traded volume.
Yeah, I was about to say people watching the stream did more volume than that ETF.
Yeah. So it's definitely not the best thing. At the same time, I think it's a new thing. It will take time. It still might be good down the line, but yeah, obviously market reacting into this kind of a situation, and which I think it's this kind of a classic buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. Everyone got super aggressive in the last few days, and now it's just kind of flushing down. On the lower time frames, you can see we basically retracing the whole thing on ETH as well. So yeah, and the way that this moves to the upside with this kind of grindy price action, these things very often get kind of fully retraced as well. So ETH is definitely not looking too well, in my opinion. If we manage to basically kind of sit here for a bit, get a little bit of a pullback, then I would be most likely looking for some shorts. At least somewhere on the lower time frames. But yeah, it's for me once again, and I think I said this in the last stream. I really traded alts way more than BTC and ETH lately. So not something that I've been trading much as of late. So I think we can just give it to the runner and talk about altcoins a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was muted. I was talking here for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I just told Aaron left, and
Yeah,
we
I'm
had
playing.
a super awkward silence. So
I'm
yeah,
playing
we
Candy
can
Crush on the
continue.
side here, so
Yeah.
no. Yeah, I want to quickly cover a few things in terms of more serious.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, one last thing that I wanted to actually say with kind of the move with BTC and ETH, at least for me, as much as I was kind of focusing on altcoins lately, I think it's not the worst idea to kind of go back into into it, especially especially Bitcoin is still very strong on a year. Even though it's in a range, it's still not kind of completely dying. So yeah, for me, definitely towards the last quarter of the year, I will start to focus on BTC and ETH a little more, because I feel like a lot of alts at the moment are just kind of the DWF scams, basically, as someone mentioned in the chat. So yeah, it's just something that I wanted to add.
Yeah. So we have the same exact watch list right now. Let me switch to things that I'm also watching, and I think contextually are more serious than we can talk about the pyramids and scams, which to me is very important. Is ETH BTC. I know nobody cares, but I mean it works. I think we just had a perfect bearish retest of whatever level I had, and the fact that we are getting like 9 Ethereum ETFs today, and we have a minus 2.7% on a day is pretty brutal. I don't remember from a recent history of me trading crypto actively all day, every day, have nothing else to do in my life. History, let's say, I don't remember seeing such a red candle, which is quite interesting to see, especially today, given the context of VanEck and all the ETFs. And if anything, this to me kind of reminds me of type of flow we would see when BlackRock and all these other institutions filed for the spot ETF a few months ago. We would have a very similar scenario happen. What was it? Was it like June? I believe this entire down only on ETH BTC was basically, I think it's exactly that, this entire move, which is interesting to see Bitcoin and all the, because why we talk about it, if BTC is a good proxy for a lot of these altcoins, which we will cover. I know there's a lot of coins outperforming, which are the DWF coins. Again, if you're trading coins that have open interest in low $1 million, we don't even talk about them, because that's like total bullcrap. And Bitcoin, or a few things also that Adam I don't think mentioned is we are in Q4 and earnings are gonna come up soon. And not to turn this into a macro podcast, because we don't know shit about that, but a lot of these big tech companies that are supposedly, from what I've seen, carrying the entire index are going to be reporting soon. So if all these companies, maybe, I don't think that's realistic, but if they miss in their earnings, we could have some fear in TradFi, and I think the correlation is a little bit there, more than few weeks and few months ago. So from the stuff we discussed last week, I think the biggest one we could, I guess, talk about is Chainlink.
Yeah. I think, the correlation with TradFi is there, but I don't think TradFi is looking like super nice at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Only last thing I forgot to mention, what happened during weekend since past, there was this US government shutdown voting, but they passed it on Saturday. So basically, if you look at open of S&P and Nasdaq at CME open, in the morning, or sorry, at midnight for us as Europeans, it spiked super hard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it gapped up a little bit overnight. I wouldn't call this a super high spike, but it opened up this gap. I posted this on Twitter. The government shutdowns in the last 30 years actually had a positive returns for Nasdaq and S&P. That being said, I don't think these charts look like super cool. S&P is kind of breaking down way harder than Nasdaq. Also indices in general, this is DAX, something that I traded last week. It is looking like it's about to fall off a cliff, basically. Same with the UK stock index. So yeah, I don't think the indices are looking super cool. Only thing that's kind of holding up at the moment is Nasdaq, basically. So yeah, it's just like when people love to mention correlation, I don't think this is looking too cool. Maybe Nasdaq can kind of hold it up. We are still trading above some sort of a line I have here, basically. So it's
I see it is, if BTC or let's say crypto majors are showing some sort of weakness, and we don't get that extra potential help, you know what I mean? Like if let's say TradFi is dumping, it's probably could. I guess it's one of those narratives follow price type of thing. Like if we pumping, it's ETF. If we're dumping, oh shit, it's US government, it's Ukraine, it's whatnot, like it's COVID again, it's like pick your poison situation. But I mean, nothing really looks that exciting. I don't personally get the October narrative at all.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the things besides it's just like people kind of trying to kind of meme it into existence is the fact that Bitcoin had this kind of a positive returns. If you're gonna take a look at all the data from last 11 years or how many is that even? October has been a decent month, and like seasonalities are a huge things. Like people generally believe that, which I don't think is nothing wrong with that. Obviously, if you trade something like gold, which is like 50 years of data or even more, or if you trade like ES, that's maybe a little more kind of precise comparing it to BTC, which is like 10 years of data or 11 or how many is that. But yeah, October historically has been a good month for BTC, so yeah, we will see about that. But I don't know. It's kind of setting up a little bit to be more of a kind of downside thing at the moment, at least for me.
I guess we can talk about our favorite coin as of today because of the conference.
Chainlink.
I mean, what is your first reaction to Chainlink bringing $100 trillion worth of real world assets on chain?
Yeah, for me, this was such a shit trade. We talked about this little pre-stream. I think you did too. We started to show this little too early, maybe. But yeah, it's finally selling
Yeah,
off.
average entry 5.8.
Yeah, uh, it's selling off a little today. But yeah, it was just such a pain in the ass, which is like obviously kind of our fault to get trying to get into this early. Yeah, yesterday was kind of telling when this is a candle which BTC and ETH did like I don't know how many percent, and this is what Chainlink did. So I kind of went short there, already got out, which obviously I will see this kind of trade back to $6 very soon, but. Yeah, it's a decent short. It's just kind of was worth to waiting for it a little longer, in my opinion.
Or it's like the classic, scaling into or like trading it a bit more, not naked. Like it's
Yeah,
basically expecting Link BTC. For me, this trade is more of a Link BTC situation because even though Bitcoin is down like $200 or whatever since the top, still I just expect this chart to go to shit. If anything.
yeah. This is like now. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think like with a lot of these kind of news events and conferences and announcement and all of that, it's kind of important to watch overall market. I believe that the last trade we kind of mentioned here was the XLM with the Twitter announcement type of thing. It's when Bitcoin is weak or when Bitcoin is kind of ranging and doing nothing, it's much easier to kind of trade these altcoins as they are comparing to Link, which rallied, and BTC also did like 10% in the last week or so. So definitely.
Also at Link, there's still a day 2 of the conference tomorrow, which I'm not saying they're gonna deliver some goods, but if there's somebody actually bullish Link, which I know there are, a lot of people with mental illness also called Link Marines. Shout out to them if they're watching. But there's still a lot of talks tomorrow, a lot of panel discussions tomorrow. So
yeah, I was pretty disappointed with this because like I was kind of trying to show like I was taking little shots at it at like 7.5 range or whatever. And when it was just kind of getting higher, I completely just I was like I'm gonna just sit this one out and just wait for this like huge kind of type of overshoot when they might say something on a conference and it's going to be this like one huge candle which is going to completely die down. But this kind of just very depressing rollover on the lower time frames. You just kind of crawl up, scroll down type of thing, which is something that I hate to trade personally. I love to see that kind of a huge flush at the end of the moves usually.
but it's always like that, right? Like you have, in hindsight, it's always so easy. Like I feel like if you're trying to be short or you kind of have to get to a certain degree
But if you're gonna take a look at like Shape, for example, which is the trade, from a couple of months ago, where like this type of price action, coming towards the end. Obviously, this is the launch of the Shibarium, which went amazingly. But like that kind of last few hours, these kind of 10% candles basically on lower time frames. This is where you can really be like, okay, like this is likely kind of it, especially when you kind of when you start to get underneath these kind of levels. But comparing this to the Link, which the signal for me at least was kind of that, and we, for the first time in this whole push, we did this kind of underside retest with after a decent amount of selling. But yeah, the top was definitely kind of this very set rounded top, basically.
But at the same time, I think we're just a bit too early to digest this trade yet. Like, I think next week, if we do an episode, I think that will be more productive on the topic of Chainlink, sell the news, whatever. It definitely
we still might
just
get something
started.
like this, maybe, tomorrow.
Oh man, you're such a bulltard.
I'm gonna say something amazing, and you will get this kind of spike, and then maybe it's going to roll over after that. But yeah, it's definitely too early. It's the first day of the conference in a way.
Yeah, Chainlink, well, $100 trillion on chain. I mean, it's kind of the top when like you have like all your favorite influencers tweeting that it's the breakout, like 3 days before conference, and you have to.
Link was definitely the Twitter flavor of the last few days type of trade,
Yeah, creme de la creme. I mean, maybe this stream turns into Bitcoin pumping during the stream.
Yeah,
it's up now, so everything follows. Fuck.
Nice. We still, we basically still holding up this kind of way where we left off. Towards the last leg to the upside. For this week, I kind of looked at yesterday a little bit. I haven't found anything super interesting.
Arbitrum, Rune, and I think that's two things that come. And Solana, I guess.
Yeah, Rune has been not doing so.
Boy.
Yeah, Rune actually sold off yesterday a lot.
What happened here? No, that's all today.
No. Oh no, it was sorry, my bad. It was Maker actually that sold yesterday, like the only coin, which died yesterday. Rune had this type of overshoot. We are trading at 2.25 cents. But it's still a bit of a time for Rune to get all these things. I think they had some sort of release. I love someone posted some huge Rune swap, and Zach XBT commented it's like some stolen funds getting swapped on Rune.
Yeah, it's like actual funny. Only use case of Rune is hackers washing money through it, and communities celebrating all-time high in volumes. It's like it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, someone is just washing stolen funds. That's fun. So but Rune has been strong, obviously. It's we talked about this here, a week ago, basically. We obviously both very much took the longs when we were saying that this is looking good.
No, one thing with Rune, we keep saying it every week, but I want to say it again, so we don't long it again, is Rune has this, they have like quite extensive, roadmap, basically stuff they want to deliver. And a lot of that stuff is pretty bullish, I would say. For Q4, there's a perpetual thingy they're gonna launch. It's supposed to make Rune deflationary. So it's gonna be deflationary for approximately 12 to 24 hours, and then it's gonna die. So if Bitcoin is at resistance, I think Rune is up and coming short. That's not now, not at all. But if it keeps trading like it's trading, and Bitcoin's still trending, I think that's going to be a banger of a short one day.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that Radian mainnet is delayed until 15th of October. This was supposed to come today. We talked about this. We were, once again, common theme, we were super early to this. We were trading it here, basically. And after we kind of closed the longs, we missed completely this huge leg up towards the release. If there is a delay, then I don't know, it's still looking fairly strong. It's at resistance, same as a lot of other things, basically. But yeah, I would just personally wait it out till the 15. But this is super liquid. Like I was looking at Bybit, I kind of moved some funds to Bybit. It has like, I don't know, like 10 million daily volume, so I'm most likely not even going to trade this one.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of just, we have this thing, me and Adam say very often in private, like, it's such a retarded thing to do, but like, if you take one trade and it goes, let's say, right, And even though there might be another entry, we just don't take the trade, or whenever you feel like you kind of miss the entry, even though it's just kind of lazy, if that makes sense. I don't know. For me, it's the situation.
Yeah.
We took Radiant, we made some money, so that's always good. I took a long, yes, it's true, a long position runner, yes, and
I'm going to show you something. What is my kind of issue with these things? Let me just show it um on the thing here. And I'm even gonna go to the Binance, which is more liquid than Bybit. You can see that this is grouped by 5 ticks. So if I'm just gonna go to the one, yeah, like you can see how much size is here. It's actually not that bad. I thought it's going to be way worse, but yeah, if you're gonna, if you, for example, going to, long now with 100,000 contracts, which is like, what is that, like 25k notional value? That's not that much of money. Like with the small accounts, this is like probably something that most people trade. Like I'm getting 10%, 10 ticks basically slipped if I just want to close it at the market, or if I would just want to kind of close it as soon as I can. So there is definitely an issue with these coins, and this is why I hate to trade them so much, is that like you can't size up all that much, and if things go wrong, obviously everyone loves to think about all the good scenarios where they will just kind of constantly make money, but sometimes just things to go to shit and you just need to figure out how you're gonna get out. I love to trade things when I know that I can get out basically without too much of an issue, rather than trying to like TVAP out or just spam best bid and ask and just hope I will get filled basically and
but
get
it's
out.
always the people saying, right? Like, have fun staying poor. My altcoin moved 40%. Then you look at the liquidity and you're like, okay, bro. I mean, if you're trading $200 portfolio, then it's doable.
And it's the same thing with like all the on-chain scams basically, and why I kind of feel like it's just so useless to go through everything. Like I look at the things that people shill on Twitter, and it has like million daily volume with like 100k liquidity and like 5% buy and sell tags or something like that. So it's like
Very
you
bullish.
cannot even like you cannot even like do any size like, okay, cool, I'm gonna buy $200 worth of it. So yeah, awesome, I might hit like 1000x from 1,000 coins.
$10,000
I will,
position. Sorry,
yeah.
$10 position.
Yeah, so yeah, this is really, and it's not like a size thing. Like I would be here, like I'm trading this massive size, and I just want to trade things which are liquid enough. It's just like pain in the ass, and you will very quickly find out, even with like smaller accounts, that this can be an issue, and this can get issue very quickly. Like with something like $10,000 account, like trading stuff like Radiant, maybe not on Binance, but on Bybit, for example, it can get tricky, and especially you just pray that you hold position overnight, and this let's say you are short and this thing will spike 25%, which very easily can. You are not getting filled on your stop like where you think you are basically.
I mean, yeah. Then you have this guy. Did you see this ape guy? I don't know. I don't want to give him a shout out, but this guy is supposedly on Bybit, being basically 70% of all open interest, shorting $11 million positions on something that has like 10 million market cap. Yeah, okay, buddy. And then he's like, I'll teach you how to become a billionaire for $200 one-time payment. Yeah, I mean, like, if you believe that, please quit watching this video. We cannot help you at all. No chance.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
Definitely. So yeah, I think I will just completely kind of skip this one. Someone asking about ATAS templates kind of randomly. You cannot share ATAS templates, and it's not too hard to kind of make them your own. Sorry, I'm not going to go through that.
Let's go to Solana. People actually want to see us not shit on them all the time.
I'm a little sad about this one because I remember that when this move happened to the upside, we kind of talk about the fact that the open interest from all these kind of shorts is still sitting there. Maybe it's going to be a little cleaner on Velo. I haven't looked at this much. It's now it's down more. But basically around this area, I was kind of looking at this, thinking that all this kind of positioning is still in there, but I never managed to get long. Even though there was plenty of time to do it, so it's definitely a little bittersweet for me to look at this.
For me, Solana wise, it's I checked my coin market manager. It's the worst performing coin of mine. So even though I might see like easy setup, I'll just not touch this shit ever again. I lost way too much money trading Solana. And it's one of those coins with where all crypto Twitter gets bullish, it can actually move, even though it's a big market cap. Like you have your Hasakas and whatnot all tweeting at the same time about Solana. And like it actually moves it, so it's hard to be in control, let's say.
Yeah. It's definitely it's funny, like it's up, but yeah, it's definitely looks like it's kind of getting weaker. But it has these kind of, you know, potential of doing basically these candles very easily, which kind of says a lot about, you know, this thing's supposed to be fairly liquid, but just moves like a lot.
And also there's this FTX situation. I think everybody stopped paying attention, right? Everybody shorted the bottom. Not obvious, of course, everybody is over exaggeration, but a lot of positioning was around that specific trade, and I just could not care less. There's this number one Bybit leaderboard guy shorting Solana, I believe. Then there's other whales longing Solana. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't like.
Yeah. I think I also kind of don't have much of an opinion on Solana, to be fair. I think like it's the chain itself. I don't know how many people use it or whatever.
You have to ask American side of CT. We're Europeans, we like ETH.
Yeah. Someone is asking about WorldCoin, and I can actually talk about it because I was trading this towards the end of the week. We had this. I actually once again got in a little too early on the first attempt, but yeah, I was in a short. I was shorting this. Didn't take all that much on Friday. Let me just kind of show you the trade that I took, because it's like super. At the end of the day, it's like super simple technical setup. You know, we traded above kind of these highs. You know, you have a support here, resistance there. You traded, fell there. Take it here for a retest. I basically closed the trade after the first impulse down, because when you have like huge impulse like this and market is not continuing immediately, it's very likely to retrace. But yeah, I felt like this was a very nice trade because this was rallying a lot last week, but mostly because of the ChatGPT situation, you know, with this uploading images of traffic signs, and the computer is going to tell you what they mean.
Wow.
And yeah, the release of the thing basically happened here. So I feel like this was a nice short. I was definitely expecting this to go lower. It's still kind of holding up. I would say, you know, overall market got a bit strong. You know, we basically, if I do believe that if there wouldn't be the push yesterday on ETH and BTC, this wouldn't be happening. And we already retraced that today. So, or yeah, overnight basically. So yeah, I think there is definitely more downside. I think this coin is kind of fucked from basically based on like some things, and it's only thing that is tricky to trade there is that video where they were talking about how they are market making it and how they're gonna hold the price at certain points and stuff like that. So that's definitely a little bit of a turn off, but yeah, I think there is still more downside to this. I just don't see a trade opportunity for me, at least here, because obviously we tested this, we came here, we tested this again. So if you're gonna push higher, you know, this everything here is basically tested. So I don't know, I would just like to kind of see it die down, then you can maybe go short here, you know, with stop kind of above the high and targeting something lower. But yeah, I think this was a last thing. Yeah, I think on a Friday this was like a decent trade, kind of combining the if you will, the narrative and actually the price action on the order flow as well.
One thing I'd like to mention when looking at these altcoins, especially on a day like today, a lot of people are like, oh, my altcoins are up. And then I look at that coin against BTC and it's down on the day, you know, like 2%. So it's like, if your altcoin is not outperforming BTC, what are we even talking about in terms of strength? You know, it's
yeah.
So like, yeah, obviously if BTC goes up, everything goes up. If your altcoin is not going up with BTC, you're completely fucked. And yeah, somebody's asking if there's more downside. Look, we don't have a crystal ball. If we had, we wouldn't be streaming here every Monday with you guys. So respectfully.
I think it's really one of those things. Like, even though like I know Runner is watching 1 minute charts for 27 hours a day, which is by itself quite sad. I try to get this more of a hands-off approach, but I still hold trades for couple of days maximum, couple of hours at the times. Like I said, for the WorldCoin, I saw the opportunity kind of here on the retest. I took a short. We had a flash down. I closed the trade. Then I'm usually when I get out from the trade, I just stop care. When it comes to altcoins, at least, as they are kind of watched at random, basically. I'm not. I know a lot of people do that. Like they will have a fucking list of all the Binance perps or like 100 coins and go through them one by one, or just kind of do some 4D chess on picking up things. I don't know. I don't do that. So usually I pick a thing which is kind of popular on the week, try to trade it. When my trade is done, I'm just kind of done looking at it. Then miss another 20% move because I'm done looking at it. But
I mean, at least you have some system. I still think it's better to know about some of the mistakes you're doing in your like execution and whatnot, but at least be consistent with them instead of trying to one day, oh, this guy tweeted, let me copy trade that. Oh, this happened, and you're like completely fucked because you don't know what you're doing. You're just So I'd rather be autistic and do the same mistake over and over again, yet somehow still make money with it, and just keep doing that one thing.
I think that's like a common thing on Twitter, at least. Like I watch a lot of people that trade altcoins. They generally just kind of trade the price action and buying things that are weak, or shorting things that are buying things that are strong, and vice versa. But yeah, I really like to have this kind of a underlying reasoning for the trade rather than just okay, price flipped SR, I'm going to trade it now, or something like that, because at that point I really feel like I just trade like BTC correlation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my favorite influencer said October, so that must mean like
yeah, long everything basically.
Is there like a back to Bitcoin, because I think it will dictate everything. At what point does it start looking really, really bad meaning obviously to the downside? I also don't know, but something about... Okay, the screen got better. Sorry, I think there was some connection issue.
I think, interestingly enough, yesterday after we had this this move up, it's a flush in OI, and then we had quite a bit of buying in this move to the upside. So I definitely feel like you don't really want to start the trade underneath this. Based on how much was bought here, basically. So if you would just kind of start to lose these, like I said, lose these levels, all these buyers start to be, because if you're gonna, let me just delete this, if I'm going to set this on lower time frames, you can see that the buying, that kind of a huge ramp up in the OI started with this candle right here. Okay, so at the time of us speaking right now, if I'm just going to draw a line here, everyone who bought here is above water. Most people, at least, not people that got liquidated here, but vast majority of people at least are above the water. But at the moment we start to trade underneath that, these people will likely to start to panic and puke their positions.
They'll start listening to Eminem's Palms. Palm. How is it? Weak knee. Fuck. Mom spaghetti, basically.
I think we are feeling basically this kind of a whole move to the upside.
And if that happens, if you then zoom out, I think it starts to get really, really, really ugly.
Yeah.
Like imagine trading below 27k. I think it's like Overtober or whatever it's called.
yeah. Like this is I think pretty solid kind of line in the sand. It's even like lower 25k. 27 is somewhere. Yeah.
But on the flip side, above 29k is probably start looking pretty constructive.
Yeah. Like I feel like definitely if we wouldn't die here and just kind of hold these levels, like do something maybe like go sideways a little bit, pull back, but then it would get bought back very quickly, then I think it's not completely unreasonable to target back to 32k actually, on just solely on a daily kind of time frame perspective. probably good to use a little wider stop on that. But yeah, if this is going to really hold here, then I think at least going to these highs right here and then this high at 32, it would make sense to me.
Yeah, I think I see it very similarly. I kind of hope it stays higher. I mean, if it full retraces like today or tomorrow, it's just sad. It's like bull or bear. It's just really sad. Like, even though I obviously prefer shorting, it's just I would like feel sad for bulls. And also, if it goes higher and continues grinding, it creates much more setups for me on sell the news side, on shorting, because we can still make this argument, I think, for some sort of head and shoulders on like weekly chart when you have the left shoulder head. It's kind of like Frankenstein structure, but like imagine making like the bearish retest to like 2930 region and then rolling over to capo target. It's just
yeah.
Or like pre-breakdown on weekly if you put it a bit higher, the blue line. Yeah,
something like this.
Imagine SFPing it and going back down. I mean, that would be it wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
But that's something I personally look for, because your invalidation, if you're shorting, is so clear, or like you basically the risk reward of the trade is much better anyways.
Like yeah. I don't know. I basically never looked at the weekly or like higher time frame charts because I know it's not within the kind of my holding scope basically. So I just kind of don't bother too much with these higher time frame charts. But yeah, definitely, it can do something like this and then die down. But yeah, this is like a few months out type of move, and you will have a bunch of just shit going on into this. I'm still kind of stunned by the fact it's very hard to predict something happening several months from now basically.
But Q4, Adam.
Yeah, Q4
October seasonality.
Q4 2025 we're gonna trade back to 15k and we're gonna come to the stream and like told you so.
Thanks for playing
2 years ago. Yeah.
Like you were not short all this time. No, but then obviously in next year you're gonna see on a lot of on timeline holding year, election year, Jerome Powell is transgender. I don't know. Yeah, if somebody has any altcoins to request, please feel free.
Sure.
I think we kind of covered.
DYDX. I think this is interesting to watch. It's pumping a little bit today. They are still teasing up that launch on Cosmos, the V4 type of thing.
Yeah, DYDX chain.
So yeah, but it's like the chart itself, it like sitting in the middle of this fucking. Let's do this in this range. So like, good luck not getting chopped out. Basically, trading that. Like,
I mean, a bit longer, and you'll have people saying, "Oh, it's just like Chainlink, 16 months consolidation, breaking
like
out."
When was the last time we traded there was basically here, and you can see like when you are kind of hanging in this kind of thin volume spot above the kind of range high, resistance high, whatever you want to call it, it's much easier to trade than trying to just getting chopped down in the middle basically. So it has this kind of a news narrative type of situation. I just hate the position of the market itself basically.
So conclusion is we are waiting for good setups. I don't feel like we have anything super constructive from today, apart from, I guess, caution would be the advice. Like, I don't know. I just personally, I dislike, because I've been very actively trading since basically start of this bear market. And whenever I've seen everybody agree on something, I'm just, my bullshit signal is ringing off. Like everybody basically tweeting, holy shit, bears are fucked at 28,500 a few hours ago. Then obviously what happens, we get flush. And like the fact that somebody even got liquidated and then BTC moved down is just, again, very sad.
Yeah, and it's like, like with the markets, and especially with crypto, I feel like, and like people like this so much, and I do this on Twitter sometimes, and you do this as well, like this kind of analysis type of thing when you post your predictions and everyone is going, "Ooh, that's super interesting." But at the end of the day, like this stuff is trading 24/7, and there's like so much kind of new information. Like for example, yesterday with this link, like okay, link was overextended as shit and it was trading at the resistance. And I was kind of looking at it. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to short this. It's Sunday, like I will just rather kind of wait. Maybe it's going to above 8.5 and then die down or whatever. Uh, so I was pretty like, okay, I'm not going to trade this at all. And then we had this push up within the one candle where obviously BTC done this, ETH done this as well. And I was just like looking at this in the moment. I was like, okay, like this is kind of a new piece of information where this is obviously not overshooting as much. Then I think after this candle closed at like 1 a.m., I was like, okay, like this is much weaker than basically anything else. And with that kind of situation, this is where I got into the short itself. So it's like my point is here that like obviously drawing lines and doing all this kind of analysis is all nice and easy, and you will get likes on Twitter and whatever. But at the end of the day, when you are actually trading, you need to kind of basically
sit on 1 minute chart.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to do that, but you just need to be able to constantly kind of adjust with the new information kind of coming your way, basically.
And new information coming your way is not your favorite influencer tweeting the shit you want to hear. Just for context.
Like you say on Twitter that you have no idea and you're waiting and everyone calls you LARP and it's over. So someone asked about Pepe. Yeah, this is looking quite sad.
It's just said one word.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this shit. This had this kind of a huge deaths ragging situation in here.
Yeah.
I believe.
And yesterday, DWF transferred $95. Okay. No. Hear me out. $95 worth of Pepe.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah.
Legitimately, I think that's the pump, like from a few days ago.
Yeah.
One of those. I think it was yesterday. I don't wanna say it wrong, but yeah, $95.
They might, like they may be gonna transfer more or whatever, but the chart itself is not looking good.
Again, somebody's asking about 10 million open interest shitcoin called MAV. Don't even open the chart. Sorry, just
I know Tomo is now flavor of the day coin with the DWF. I'm to be fair, I'm like completely too tired.
Why even give them clout at this point? Fuck that. Honestly, let's look. I would rather look at Solana than DWF coins. It's just sad. And it's interesting, every week it's the same shit. People want to hear our opinion about DWF coin. And I feel like I'll put in the corner, we don't fucking chart DWF coins.
Yeah, and I think my thing with this, why I just hate to trade this, is it's, like I've been always this kind of like trading is zero sum game type of thing, it should be fair. On the both sides, if I'm losing money on a trade, someone else is taking my money, and it's all good and fair. But with stuff like this, it's just I don't know. I just it is I don't want to like be here and scream market manipulation. It's like like coping that I'm missing on all these moves, but I just don't want to be trading these things. I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's fine. I mean, I'm literally gonna repeat it for the last time. We don't trade stuff with $2 million open interest for the most part, and there's a lot of content creators who cover that. There's a lot of people covering NFTs, I guess, as well. We will trade our 0.5% moves, and we're gonna be coping forever.
Yeah. I think, and it really even shows like, because obviously when all the DWF stuff started, I remember I was trading Unify, I was trading the all like few other things as well, and when I look at kind of the results I have from these, I can very clearly say that I'm performing just way better at like if it's like the top 50 coins basically by market cap or something like something
I think that's a great argument, because we've traded a bit now. I'm not saying I'm the most experienced person in the room. Adam is very experienced trader, so if Shills CMM if you look at your past performance, you can tell which coins you do well and you find some patterns. And maybe we just suck at trading them, that's fine. But I personally feel no need to get better at trading them, because not only, I just don't need to. I can literally just trade XRP until end of my life and probably be fine. And it's fine.
Yeah.
I can trade whatever we want, right? There's not like, even though it's like this, oh, it will get me a lot of likes on Twitter if I start charting DWF coins and I'll be like, secret alpha exposed, funding arbitrage opportunity. Like, no, just no.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty damn good. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was easy short. I messaged you, please short.
Yeah.
And you said,
Yeah.
no, I'm not shorting on Saturday or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was once again, old person trading price action stuff along the scam CEO getting XRP tattoo. Yeah, I was looking for this to go a little higher. I didn't take the short. It was on Saturday, Friday. Oh, it was Friday actually.
Yeah, it was like 2 a.m. short. Yeah, I'm going to sleep. I don't like money.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we've been live for 50 minutes. I think we can take some of the questions if anyone has some of the question or some coins. Please, keep it on.
Not DWF, please, for the last time.
Yeah. But if, for example, if you have some of the narratives you are watching or whatever you want to know, just let us know. We can go through these. Optimism. That's been doing quite well. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That looks nice. Made a new high.
Yeah, I hate something, and I saw it happening so many times. And I'm not saying that this is like going to immediately being short, but when market is going up, let me show you. This is like one of the depressing thing that I can, from back of my head, remember specific dates on the chart when things happen, so I can show them a little better. Yeah, this is a situation on BTC. This is back in 2020. When you have a move that looks like this, that like grinds down type of thing, it very, very, very often going for the full retrace. If you're gonna take a look back at the optimism, it's basically the same thing. So yeah, it's looking good. It's been decent, for the last few days. It's been performing very well, but I just hate when I look at lower time frames and I see this basically.
Somebody asked the XRP why I shorted. They had some NFT. Sorry, apologies, not NFTs. God forbid. They had event in New York City. It was called Rooftop Party or something like that. It was basically XRP bag holders meeting and getting drunk and getting high. That's literally it. But what you then have on Twitter is bag holders being, there is a rumor that Ripple is going to do IPO, which was a total BS, and the price went down. That's entire trade. Because I thought they're not gonna have any announcements whatsoever, and then the CEO tweeted a fucking tattoo, which is the most bearish thing ever, and price went down. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I made a stream a few days ago. I covered it in detail. I don't want to repeat it again because I covered it. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah. But by itself, I'm not sure if there is something going on for optimism as well.
Q4 there is this thing. I think it could be one of the reasons could be the Arbitrum beta, because if you look at Arbitrum, like a layer 2 trade, if you look at Arbitrum chart, it's super strong. Like all things considered,
Yeah, I know Arbitrum was moving quite a bit.
So yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, but also in Q4 there is this EIP upgrade, which I know nothing about because it's technical, but there's something basically making layer 2s better. In easy English. Thanks for a great explanation.
Make layer 2s great again.
Yeah, I should get hired for such alpha.
Yeah,
but yeah, also
I feel like these kind of technical type of news are usually not the ones that lead to like a massive overshoots, but yeah.
I mean, you've seen also half of crypto Twitter talking about ARP season, ARP ends. It's it's so tiresome. It's always the same thing.
Litecoin, it moved up a little bit, but yeah, I think this was the halving thing for Litecoin is kind of done, and after you can kind of forget this exists. would be your kind of a best way to approaching this coin.
You know
Yeah,
when
I
you
think
should
that's-
open this chart in 3.5 years when halving is cool again.
Yeah, basically you have these like halving periods when you can trade this, which is basically this kind of situation right here, and then you can kind of forget it exists. Yeah, it moved up a bit, but it's at the same price it was 2 months ago.
Somebody asking Aave, but I think it will be very similar situation.
This is looking better.
Yeah.
I just have like absolutely zero kind of knowledge about DeFi at this point. I don't know if like the old school, DeFi summer coins, this is like very, very old school thing. So I don't know why this is going up, to be fair.
Somebody asking, what news do you consider bullish on these conferences? I think that's actually one of the best questions I was ever asked. There is a big difference when, if let's say I'm a project and I keep saying, hey, on this conference, we're launching the biggest, bestest, the best news ever. Then like the community is like very excited, right? They get super excited because they expect like literally Jesus Christ partnership or whatever your religion is. But then they will launch something like, now you can take a selfie with us. Like that was XLM. It's like what the fuck?
Like XLM was like this type of situation. Like they started trading, tweeting 10 days, which was I think somewhere around here. This is when the news came out, so 10 days prior, so somewhere around here, whatever. They started basically tweeting that there is like a biggest ever announcement ever in XLM history, basically coming in 10 days, and they were just hyping the fuck out of it. And yeah, the announcement itself was some sort of social media.
Yeah, that big red candle, that was me shorting.
Yeah.
Either way, but to answer your question, I think, I don't know, because for some fucking reason, no crypto project does it, is you want to have a surprise. You don't want to be like, hey, I have a gift for you. Hey, I have a gift for you. Hey, did I tell you I have a gift for you? And then I give you like an empty envelope. So it's like actually bringing a gift home, and it's something really cool or something that means something. And contextually, I'm afraid we're just in a period where liquidity is so bad, and you have these, like the show is literally called Musical Chairs for a reason. That's the game where like one person always loses, right, in the game, because there's just not enough chairs. That's not enough liquidity in these altcoins. So whatever we were discussing in even a few months ago is dead, right? It's like it moves. If you long, great. Then if you short, great. And then on to the next Ponzi. It's just how it is with these in current, as people call it, PvP conditions.
I remember with AVAX, but obviously this is in January when everything kind of rallied, but they had some sort of announcement here, which was kind of significant enough. It meant that AVAX was very strong performer for a short period of time before it died down, basically.
But also contextually, entire market was up only, right? That was actual alt season back then, not this shit what people call alt season lol. Wow, it fully retraced everything since. Can you do like a daily chart?
No. This is trading under the January lows, basically.
And below FTX lows. Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely strong altcoin.
Yeah, it's trading like what is it? 2021 January prices, basically $8. Yep. So about that.
Well, I cannot wait for a market to actually start looking good. People go on 1 hour chart, they see 5 green candles in a row. Their favorite influencer is like October, and they're like, oh, that's it, recession cancelled, up only. And it's just like, what the I don't know. It's just people. I think people just like patience, I guess, in general. We all want to make money, and money is made on the long side in bull runs and whatnot. But like you cannot lose all your chips during this type of random period.
Yeah.
Like longing stuff because some monkey on Twitter or whatever your animal is.
I, to be fair, like this year, and I still kind of feel like it's relevant. Like if there is going to be a next alt season, it's going to be a new type of projects that will be the best performers. And like if you would be buying BTC only this year, you would be like 10 times better than just trying to, catch some super random altcoin because you liked it, but it's down 90% since 2021, basically.
Yeah, for some reason people hate to hear this. I don't know why. Like whenever I, even obviously sometimes on the screen I can be like very, very, I guess, aggressive. But when you just try to have a conversation with people, like, hey, have you considered doing something else? Then people get very, very upset with you because you're like, as if you're saying, because you're saying essentially stuff they don't want to hear. But then again, like in markets, I think, or in like, I guess, investing and in real life, you cannot have this attitude of like, no, you're saying something offends me. Like, market doesn't give a shit. And when you lose 90% of your money in some dead projects, like what happens then? You shift the blame on the team, or do you take responsibility of you making shitty decisions? I'll start the philosopher podcast.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, it's been an hour. I think we're gonna
chain link to here. 0. Have a nice evening.
Chain link to not to 0 because I'm not short anymore. Chain link to $25 tomorrow.
Okay. 1,000 likes on Twitter.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming in. We will do our best to be here in a week as well. Yep.
Okay. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye bye.